It's 9/12. The day after.
Dun dun dun.
There was a Twitter post, Steven, telling people that you should treat people the way that people treated each other on 9/12, the day after 9/11.
Let's see. I was 11, or I think on 9/12, 11 years old. So what does that mean? How was I treating people?
I was listening to Weezer and calling people gay on StarCraft.
I was not playing StarCraft. I wasn't playing any video games except on my Game Boy, but I was also calling people gay.
Calling people gay a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
that was gay Jews.
Yeah, I mean, the Jew part came after Borat. That's when everyone became really into anti-Semitism.
Really? We were on Jews from South Park.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. It was South Park.
Down on from South Park, the Jews were, the Jew became, it's funny, because, we're at the end of history, and the Jews are safe. The Jews are safe. We don't have to worry anymore, so we can, use it as an insult.
Right, I guess. I found it distasteful.
On the bus you mentioned.
But actually, I didn't start watching South Park when I was 11. I was still watching Even Stevens.
Oh, hell yeah. Even Stevens was great.
Yeah, it was a great show.
What was Even Stevens a post 9/11 show? I think it was.
I think it was pre and post.
Did it straddle the 9/11 border?
Yeah, it was straddling it.
Yeah. Shows like that are the funniest, that where 9/11 happened right in the middle of their runs, so they had to have a 9/11 episode. Like Sex and the City had a very subtle 9/11 episode.
Right.
About her. New York is healing. Carrie fucks the city. Really, she is fucking the city. The city is a character, and she is fucking it.
Started in June 2000 and then ran until...
I need some New York. I'm fucking Carrie Bradshaw.
The Even Stevens Sex and the City crossover.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Shia LaBeouf
Louis Stevens.
He beats...
An adult wizened Shia LaBeouf is just beating up all the women in New York and the Sex and the City crew.
He's doing abuse because he's a bad man. He's a troubled and bad man.
Hey, if your dad was bringing bikers to your Honey Boy rallies, and you were a little boy just begging for agents to take you on and performing for the camera, and then you grew up to be a performance artist.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next Indiana Jones will not be Shia LaBeouf.
They should make the next Indiana Jones like a grown-up version of Short Round. I love Short Round. Short Round, a very racist character.
We talked about him a couple episodes back.
Yeah, I love him as a kid. Have I pitched this before? Have I pitched grown-up Short Round? Get like fucking Henry Golding. Get Simu Liu. I
think we would just get the guy. He's still...
He's too old.
No, he's just... Why not just get grown up the guy that was playing that character?
I don't know. It's not going to happen. But Short Round was my childhood hero. I wanted to be Short Round.
Well, it's a funny name. I mean, I can't really get into why it's funny, because it's racist.
It's racist. It's funny because it's racist.
It's like... I don't want to get into the racistness of it. Never mind.
You don't want to get into how racist Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
No, I don't want to really get into that.
This is such a racist movie. All you need to know.
My dad tried to watch it, and he was like, "This is garbage."
all you need, all of Indiana Jones is just a bunch of white guys just browning up, or like John Rhys Davies browns up in the first one, right?
I don't know. I don't have a mind for keeping things in mind,
Nah, you don't want to keep track of the racisms that Steven Spielberg did?
Well, it used to be like when we were in 11 and 12, right around 9/11, like one of the most highly prized skills you could have is the ability to remember lines from movies and TV shows.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the people who got the most laughs were the ones who could just spit out Simpsons lines.
I think that's still the case. You just see people just posting verbatim Simpsons lines on Twitter, and people are like, hell yeah. But you're not quoting them from rote. You know, it's like as Socrates, not Socrates, or Plato feared that, you know, written language would cause people to forget. I forget which Greek guy. One of our philosopher listeners will be agonizing.
Proving his point there.
Yeah. Exactly. Whichever Greek pederast it was, whichever Greek pederast theorized that writing would be the death of our memorization, was correct.
Yeah, and then TV is doing it too, and then internet, internet make brain bad.
Yeah, internet's the ultimate tablet. It's the ultimate written thing. You never have to memorize anything ever again because you have your tablet next to you.
And it has autocomplete.
Yeah, and in doing so, we lost an essential theatrical quality.
Would you install autocomplete in your brain?
No, because it would always autocomplete to ducking, and I would be saying this ducking bit all the time. You know, I would be making hilarious faux pas.
Oh, I thought it would autocomplete to sucking.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Burn, because I suck.
Oh, I burned you good. Back in 2001, that would have been the whole class would have fallen out of their seats. It's
what I've learned about Twitter. I call it floresing, which is just accepting that you suck and moving on with your life. It's fine. It's fine. Iron Will legendary poster. Iron Will can withstand a lot of abuse. I respect the Flores technique of just withstanding abuse. Who cares?
Has he been withstand? I mean, maybe that's why he's got so many problems. I have to check. I don't know. I haven't
his tweet about him making fucked up tweets at midnight because of mental scars that propped up again, and people were delighting in its. It's a very funny tweet. Whether it's serious or joking, it's very funny, and I think what I like about it most is. It feels like a real glimpse into sincerity, you know, like it's someone posting without all the layers of irony, but still there are layers of irony.
Yeah. This week everyone was getting their digs in at beloved comedian John Mulaney.
The correct opinion on that is who cares?
Oh, I think what he did is reprehensible. Getting someone pregnant.
No.
Especially because I have a baby, and that baby will probably use resources that could go to my baby. I'm a zero-sum kind of guy now, so anyone who has a baby now, it's like kind of my rival.
You're competing with Jacinda Mulaney Munn for those preschool. They're going to move right next to you in Michigan, and your babies will directly compete. Like Maggie and Gerald.
No, they're going to name their baby something stupid like Water.
No.
Yeah,
they're going to name something like New York. They're going to name their baby like Woody or something terrible like that. But it's funny. I have no idea. I have no idea who John Mulaney is. I watched his stand-up specials a couple of times. They were funny. He makes HIV jokes, which I respect.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's also pretty 2001 era, doing lots of AIDS jokes.
Yeah. But see, there you go. AIDS jokes. I can follow that into South Park. Because South Park had their whole Jared has AIDS episode. Turns out what he had was a lot worse.
Our culture was like heavily dominated, or maybe not dominated, but heavily influenced by South Park for so long. It's been nice to have some time where they're not influential.
I think they're like, is there something about South Park that speaks to the adolescent mind more than it does to the adult mind? I think because of, they're sort of like, well, everyone's stupid but me. That's a very like teen thing to think, you know? And I think a lot of people still carry that through their adulthood. But, the process of growing up is realizing, no, I'm fucking dumb as shit. and I don't know anything. And, you know, maybe some people are right. So maybe sometimes, like, disagreeing with them ends up biting me in the ass. And South Park even did an episode about that where I was watching a few of the recent seasons, and they had an episode where they did a mea culpa for Man Bear Pig, where they have to admit, you know, they had to eat shit and admit to Al Gore that, yes, Man Bear Pig exists. We can't ignore Man Bear Pig.
Oh, and Man Bear Pig is climate change?
Man Bear Pig is climate change.
Man,
the first
that shit's not real.
Yeah. Well, the first episode, the original Man Bear Pig episode, I will defend, because it's an episode that's more about Al Gore's vanity than it is about how ridiculous the idea of climate change is. But, you know, I think South Park, they go for sort of like the libertarian idea of what Max... You know, it's weird to me when anyone says that they value freedom, because what the fuck are you talking... Everyone values freedom. There's no one that says, oh, I want to live in bondage, except for BDSM people, and they like it consensual.
I mean, sure, I don't know. Like, freedom is a weird term, because, like, you got to differentiate between freedom and license. Which is, license is like the ability to do things. Freedom is like technically the ability to do the right thing. So there's an element of ethics with freedom. So
freedom, the idea that you have a meaningful choice to do right by, I don't know, some cosmic universal.
So you're not free to kill anyone. You can. You have license to do it. But that's not like a freedom, right? And so that actually extends down to the venial sins as well. Like,
yeah. But freedom, like, not in the ethical sense, but more in the sort of political and what I think truly what the political is about, especially in America, is about the accumulation of property. That's really understood to be freedom. Freedom is associated with what you own and what you can claim ownership over. And I think that is the prevailing idea of freedom for most people in the West, even in Europe, too. There's this very entrenched idea that what really matters in your life is accumulating some form of property, and that's reflected in the emphasis on home ownership as the main source of you know, freehold land. It's called freehold land ownership, you know, just even in the name it talks about how this represents and all the trappings of American lifestyles, cars too, you know.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and have the right to life, liberty, and collecting lots of tiny little miniatures.
Collecting little Funko Pops.
Collecting lots of little individual things. That's right in the Declaration.
Yeah, having lots of knickknacks is in the. Yeah,
that's how you should be judged. Is your collectibles.
Yes, everyone should have good collectibles. That's what That's what I'll do as president. That's my campaign. Everyone will have choice collectibles. No one will be, you know, none of that McDonald's Happy Meal shit, unless that's your jam. No judging.
I think they are. Some of those I think are collectible now.
They definitely are. Everything's fucking collectible. Everything. I collect cums. I collect various cums from around the earth.
I know names, but I know a certain person who collected every used condom that was in them.
Oh my god, that's wonderful.
Oh my god.
Did they pin it on? Was it their art project?
Yes.
Did they go to? That's good.
Don't. Yes. Anymore.
I don't know who this person is, but it sounds like something you'd do for an art project.
Yeah, you guessed immediately.
Because it's not like
art project.
Yeah. And then you have an accompanying manual that says, "This was the man who caressed me as a razor wire caresses an innocent pheasant." And, you know, the cum that's slightly darker is like, "This was the man who gave me the freedom to yearn inside a bottle of my own belonging." You know, yeah, I can do this shit. I should collect cum. Yeah. I should be a cum collector.
My art project
sell it as an NFT.
You do dead birds and dead cum, and it's like they both hit a barrier that they did not know was there.
Yeah. dead come. No, long enough, those doggies dead come.
Should we listen to some like Letterman or Leno commentaries on 9/11?
Some sad commentaries on 9/11. Are we allowed to play those?
Just well, we were going to talk about the impact of 9/11 on the media.
We'd talk about 9/11 because everyone loves 9/11 on 9/12, the day after, where you're treating people like they're gay and Jewish.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really interacting with anyone at all. I was just watching the Disney Channel. So
Even Stevens ruled.
I was like,
Kim Possible ruled. Who am I to judge? Who am I to? What was planned on 9/11? Did Proud Family have a 9/11 episode?
Proud Family's later. That's like a
Proud
later.
Family's later. Okay. Yeah, trying to think of the 9/11. Well, everyone plays those Disney bumpers. That was going around again, where like Lizzie McGuire and even Stevens made all those 9/11 really affected me.
Yeah.
You know, we came together as people and came together as America, and we're gonna hunt them down. We're gonna get them.
Yeah, it sucks. That was stupid. I'm glad the war is over finally.
Yeah. Well, maybe. It's just, there's less troops there now.
It's over. We're switching to just bombing them with robots.
Yeah. Classic RoboCop scenario.
Yeah, we're going full like Star Wars Empire mode. With we're gonna be like there's a movie called Drone War, for God's sakes. Or wait, no, Clone War.
Clone Wars.
Clones,
you
drones.
mistook it. It's Drone War. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
I'm sure someone has edited Clone War to have like Obama's face, and it says Star Wars Drone War. And it's
no, not
he's
necessarily.
in a tan suit.
There's no more ideas. No more ideas guys on the internet. Like the ideas guys are all
They're gone.
They're gone.
They've poofed.
Yeah.
They poofed away since they got rid of Trump. All the ideas guys are gone. He was the last one. He was the last of the ideas guys.
Yeah. There's like 5 funny guys on Twitter now.
Yeah. And it's all of them are O.J. Simpson.
I mean, like, I don't know. There's Drill. Who else?
Is Drill still funny? I don't keep up.
Not even.
He's
He's just kind of like referentially funny.
I mean, I don't get to. I think there's a lot of funny people on. I think there are dozens of funny people on Twitter. But it's most tweets are bad. Most tweets are not bangers, including most of my tweets. My terrible tweets. One out of 200 is good. Yeah. 1 out of 200. Those are the odds I'm getting. And those are the ones I don't even delete. Because I delete a lot. I'm a deleter.
Yeah, I know. You delete so fast, but I like to try to sneak a comment in.
Yeah. It's always aggravating. So aggravating.
I'm trolling you.
Yeah. Well, the most obvious effect on media 9/11 is everything became a lot more jingoistic.
Yeah.
24.
Yep.
At 24, all about terrorists getting them terrorists.
Yeah.
And Hurt Locker coming in. Was that 2009? That was Obama era. What was stuff indicative of the Bush era? Was
well, when did United 93 come out?
I think that was 2006. I think it was like very, and then there was the World Trade Center movie that Oliver Stone directed.
Yeah.
Where doesn't Nicolas Cage see like his wife's ghost or something in that? I don't know. I never saw the movie, but it's supposed to be very schmaltzy. Mm-hmm. And those are movies about 9/11, but it's stuff like was influenced by 9/11 like almost immediately. Like Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds is like a 9/11 movie. It's just people getting vaporized on.
There was a Fahrenheit 9/11. There's a movie for you.
Yeah. Well, Michael Moore. It's weird that people are like, "Oh, 9/11 truth is weird," but we're like, I mean, Michael Moore was drawing connections to Saudi involvement in 9/11 in a mainstream documentary that mainstream liberals fell head over heels for. Didn't it win Cannes or something like that? It received like a bunch of insane accolades.
I don't know. I could pollute the podcast with the sound of my typing, or we could just not know. I guess
the Euros. I think the Euros really liked Fahrenheit 9/11. They were like, he is exposing the weaknesses of the American Empire. Soon they will know.
Yeah, the Euros were really against the Iraq War for whatever reason. I thought it was cool.
For good reasons.
I was like, hey, we're going to make a bunch of money.
Didn't France have like oil investments in Iraq, which is why they were chiefly against the Iraq War?
I don't know. I never really looked into it.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole... Look, it's not... I'm not saying... I think planes flew into the buildings. That's what I'm saying.
So you think it was planes and not missiles?
Is missiles part of one of the narratives that people... Is missiles one of the
they think a missile hit the Pentagon.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know the Pentagon one. Who cares about the fucking Pentagon?
Well, that one, I mean, that's because the video there's like only one video that shows it happening, and it's like so low quality that it's like just like a flash, a blur. And so then the conspiracy becomes like, well, why aren't there any good videos of it? Like, you don't think they had video monitoring? Like, we have high quality videos of the World Trade Centers. Why didn't they have any videos? And I mean, in 2001, I don't know, they didn't have camera phones.
Yeah, but the argument is that the Pentagon is like a very heavily surveilled area.
Yeah, I guess.
So wouldn't there have been like security camera footage, or like just or were like all the cameras that were pointing towards the missile damaged? You know, maybe is that part? I don't know. I haven't gotten into 9/11.
The kind of thing, I don't think that they would have the balls, that George Bush or whoever would have the balls to like commit high treason and kill thousands of Americans just to make money. Like, as president, you can cook up a war without that. You know, you can just invade whatever country you want and say it's because they're bad guys. Like, you don't have to do that to invade a country and get Halliburton contracts. You just don't.
Yeah. But I think the pushback to that is, you know, he's comfortable, you know, sending troops to die, so why wouldn't you be comfortable, you know, just, you know,
well, because there's a difference between
top.
troops and citizens. I mean, the troops are expendable in his mind to defend the citizens who are not expendable.
I suppose so. I think it's plausible. If not Bush, you know, I mean, there is a lot of people. There's the whole Bush did 9/11 crew. I don't know anything about this fucking subject, which is, you know, why I tend to stay away from it.
It annoys me because I don't think it makes any sense. And, you know, jet fuel doesn't have to melt the beams. It just has to heat it up enough so that they'll bend a little bit. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do think planes hit the fucking towers. That I'm pretty convinced about.
Yeah,
there's a lot of footage of that.
You can see
that's for sure. Yeah, you can see it all you want. And but do I think the CIA could have meddled a bit? Could have ignored a few things? Could have, you know, let a few things slip by? Yeah, sure.
They gave Bush reports in August being like, Osama bin Laden is going to attack the World Trade Center with an airplane, and Bush didn't read it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the other theory, is just it's incompetence, that's the one that a lot of people that want to hang on to the idea that there aren't monsters in this world, man.
Okay,
there's monsters in this world, man.
There are sure there's monsters, but that's like making the CIA into like a one evil guy twirling his mustache, cooking up plots, when it could just be like, we have to confront what the bureaucracy of an empire looks like and what kind of destruction it creates without actually any evil intent.
Yes, but on the other hand,
Yeah, it's pretty sexy to
on the other hand,
to think you're a counterintelligence agent working against the CIA by doing Twitter posts.
I think the CIA, I think the fact that the CIA have been involved in so many instances of coups, especially the other September 11th, Allende in Chile, right? That's the other thing that leftists were posting, is that September 11th, 1973, Allende was deposed by a CIA-backed coup from Pinochet. And they were slaughtering people in stadiums.
But, like...
Those stadiums used to be for fun,
when you say
and then they were used for gun.
When you say a CIA-backed coup, that generally means that we sent them money and weapons and a couple of guys to, like, show them how to click the detonator stuff. It's not like... There was CIA agent, like SEAL. There's no Jack Bauer didn't go and shoot a bunch of people.
No, that's untrue. It was Pinochet had a Jack Bauer.
He had Jack Bauer?
He had Jack Bauer. It was a very young Jack Bauer. It was a 6-year-old Kiefer Sutherland. And he was just slitting throats, and, he was slitting Allende's throat.
I'm sure there was some instances of, in the Bay of Pigs, there was 2... American CIA guys a lot, and they apparently slipped away. They were probably just there to observe. I doubt they were. I doubt they were firing.
Yeah, but then you get into stuff like Gladio, and there's just all sorts of.
Is that the Nazi one?
That's the one where the Nazi the stay behind operations collaborating with the Nazis in order to root out the communist threat.
Yeah. Which, good for them. That was a threat. That's fine.
No, wrong.
It's what the people wanted.
Whenever someone says Nazi collaboration, I always think of, it's the new Kesha album featuring Nazi. We're collaborating with Nazis. Hell yeah. It's Pitbull featuring Nazis. Yeah, these Nazis. I don't know what Pitbull sounds like. I'm not gonna do an exaggerated Cuban accent.
We could find that that thing he did for, what was it? Was it for Cuba?
Was it for Cuba?
I think he did
a thing for Cuba. Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
Pitbull did his ode to Cuba, but this would be his ode to Nazi collaboration.
Hold on. I think I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
This is a message to the world. We need to stand up, step up, but if you don't understand what's going on, then you need to wake the fuck up. Not only is this a Cuba event, a Cuba thing, this is a world event. This isn't about politics. This is about saving lives. This is about unity, not division. And bottom line, this is about taking action. Let me tell you something, why I'm frustrated and when I see everybody out there and doing what they're doing, which I love what they're doing. Okay? Not only do we live for freedom, we ride for freedom, we die for freedom, but we motherfucking appreciate freedom.
Huh.
See, we were talking about freedom. There you go.
It gets me hot, it bothers me, and it frustrates me to a certain extent, being a Cuban American and having a platform to speak to the world and not being able to help my own people. Not being able to get them food, not being...
Well, what happened with that? I'm sorry, that's going to go on for another 5 minutes. What happened with that whole... They're not... With everyone in Cuba was going to do a big protest. That went away when Biden pulled out of the war.
Yeah, it was very. I mean, the fervor was pretty astroturfed. It's wasn't a huge amount of Cuban people that were really opposing the government. Yeah. It weren't. It wasn't record protests.
It was like a Twitter bot army.
Yeah, that was basically it.
That's the extent of what I think the CIA does these days is make social media campaigns.
Yeah, well, that's definitely what the IDF does. And there that time in Sheikh Jarrah when they were like, oh, the IDF has started shelling this area. But it turns out they were shelling a different area, thus tricking people. And everyone was like, oh, move away from this area.
Yeah. Don't retweet the IDF.
That's number one rule of Twitter. Don't retweet the IDF. They don't deserve it.
They're also lying. They're like, we went this way. Mm-hmm. We sent all our tanks over here. And then it's like, oh, we tricked you.
Yeah, it's the pointing your finger, except it results in dead children. So there, it's unfun. So how did 9/11 affect Israel Palestine?
Ooh,
It probably it probably got a lot worse. I wonder if it got a lot worse because there was sort of this mobilized national Islamophobia because the thing about the end of history, for 10 years there were no bad guys, right? The commies had been defeated in 1989 with the fall of the Berlin Wall, and for 10 years there was no national enemy. There was, like, I don't know, the stuff in Yugoslavia.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't a national enemy. We were just there were
police actions and stuff like that. America maintaining its empire, and then I mean, that's why it's also like it's not necessarily plausible, but the idea that people would manufacture something because they believe heartily in a clash of civilizations scenario. Mm-hmm. I mean, George Bush was an evangelical Christian, and to be an evangelical Christian is to believe in your heart some pretty wild stuff.
Yes, but to my previous point, it also means you don't do a 9/11 on your own country. If you really think he's an evangelical Christian, then that's not compatible.
I think there are all types of evangelical Christians, including ones that. But I don't think. Yeah, I also think, like, the image that George W. Bush projects is just so difficult to see him doing that. You know, even if you know he's an evil man who perpetrated some of the worst things ever done to this country, he still really is able to affect that simpleton vibe. You know, that he's sort of a patsy. He's somebody that goes along, and really the brains behind the operation are Cheney. But that kind of is true, you know. It's Cheney and Rumsfeld. Those guys were planning that shit since the fucking 70s.
Yeah, it's, you know, a good scam. Good way to make a bit of change.
But maybe it's also like, it's just it reminds me of sort of that picture after the JFK assassination when Lyndon Johnson is on the plane and he's like, he has a smile and he's like winking, and people sometimes use that as evidence that Lyndon Johnson was the one who orchestrated the JFK assassination, but it's just much more evidence that Lyndon Johnson was, got real lucky.
Yep.
Got real lucky, Hank.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. It's good. And then we were better off for it. I don't know if JFK would have been able to push through a civil rights bill.
Sure. We're big LBJ fans here.
I'm a big LBJ fan. He's from Texas.
You're a big, big,
I like
and
Texans.
Bigger. Yeah, big dick Texans.
Yeah.
BDTs.
He called it jumbo.
Yeah. You won't need abortions in Texas because my big dick will get... No, I'm going to stop.
That's dick's bad. Too big to get anyone pregnant.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say I use my big dick to give abortions.
Well, your dick would need to be small and shaped more like a coat hanger.
It would be hooky.
Long.
I have a hooky dick.
Long, true, but wire shaped.
Or it could just be like a big thumb.
Or if you could suck stuff up with it, if you developed that muscle, which some men
Vacuum
can do.
Dick. You mean the foreskin muscle?
No, they can use their dick as a straw.
Oh, their urethral muscle.
Yeah, they can reverse the flow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really like advanced. You have to go to India to learn how to do this technique, but it's called the anteater, I believe.
Just shoop up those fetuses.
Right. That's what you do.
That's what Peter Thiel does now. And it disgusts him because he has to engage in sex with a woman, but he does it so that he can shoop up the fetuses with his penis and get the adrenochrome directly from the source, you know. And he's just crying while he's doing it.
There's a comic idea for you.
Peter Thiel shooping up the fetuses with his penis.
Oh, we forgot to do comics rundown.
Oh, yeah, comics. Well, what are the comics? What are the comics?
Didn't you have a hit this week?
I had a hit with Dune. I had a hit Dune comic. Oh, yeah. It's not a hit. It got 7K likes.
Oh, that's a hit. I don't know if
that's a hit in my
I don't think you've had one with that many.
No, not before. It feels nice. It feels validation.
Almost
from a bunch
1,000
of
retweets.
Yes. Yeah. The comic is of course my version of Paul Atreides, but Instead, I guess it's Lady Jessica that's next to him. I suppose it's, or it could be Chani. Who knows?
Wow, you really know the characters.
I know the character. I know the first book. First book.
That's
I did,
cool.
but as was pointed out to me, a character in Dune eventually does fuck a worm.
No.
Or he doesn't fuck a worm. He fuses with a bunch of worm larvae, I guess, and then becomes a worm guy. So I didn't know that before, but I correctly guessed at where Dune was going, which was worm fucking.
Mm-hmm.
So spoilers on Dune. It eventually ends with worm fucking.
Yeah. Well, it's great.
It doesn't end with it. Goes on. His son writes a bunch of terrible books, apparently.
I think you got like about 200 or 300 followers from that.
It's so good. So schmeedy guy.
Feels so good, the socials. And then you followed that up with Red Keanu or Blue Keanu.
Yeah, that comic sucks. That comic fucking sucks. I hate it. But
no.
It's such a bad comic. It's like a comic that's a Newgrounds parody of the Matrix.
Well, the coloring was a bit hasty.
Yeah, the coloring sucks. It's hasty too. I don't like that one. Fuck that one.
You have to send them all to me to put on the website, though.
I will send them all to you.
Even the Ruth
website.
Bader Ginsburg one.
The Ruth Bader Ginsburg one is rough.
Well, no one got on your case about it.
No one got on my case about it. No one cares about Ruthie jacking off.
You should do it in another one where she's like openly engaged in oral sex.
I did one where this week Dan Crenshaw is trying to fuck his own eye hole. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, go after the Republicans.
Yeah, I should go after the Republicans. I can't. It's hard to come up with. I'm trying to come up with a good Madison Cawthorn ableism joke that hasn't. Everyone does, wheels or
Well, don't do an ableism.
Or,
Come on, what are you doing?
I'm doing ableism.
I know
He's
you
a
are.
bad man.
I know you are disabled because you're gay. So
I'm disabled because I'm gay and Jewish. So that's a twofer. I'm gay, Jewish.
That's why you're on disability because you're.
That's why I'm on disability. That's why I'm on disability. Because I have gay Jew disease. I'm a huge gay Jew. See, it's 9/12. Treat each other like 9/12.
That's what I'm doing.
But I am a gay Jew. Damn it! It all came true. Maybe I think that's what Xbox Live did to me. I didn't have Xbox Live. They were just calling me gay in school, but we all called each other gay. It was fun for us. It was fun for us then.
Well, it was until the first year of college when I realized, wait a minute, people actually are gay, and then wait a minute, some of the people we were bullying and calling them gay are gay, and so then I had to send people apologies. In 2008, I apologized to everyone I called gay.
That's nice. That's sweet. They made us see the Laramie Project. The Laramie Project?
Yeah,
the long play.
Was not allowed in my high school. I did not actually hear about Matthew Shepard in my high school.
There you go.
But I went out with a girl who directed a Laramie. That's a play, right? The Laramie Project?
It's a play, yeah. It's about everything around
high school version.
Everything around the murder of the young gay man Matthew Shepard in Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah.
And it sort of sparked a renewed interest in gay rights in the mainstream because it was a very public and brutal murder. And people were like, what is going on in this country? That young rural gay men can't... it's always funny to me, Schitt's Creek versus the Laramie. Schitt's Creek it's the idea of Dan Levy just existing this rural life without getting hassled at all, despite being very overtly gay. And I'm not saying that Dan Levy's character in Schitt's Creek would be Laramie Project did. All I'm saying is I can't think of a way to end that sentence. It's a bad sentence.
Well,
that's the real version of Schitt's Creek. That's the version of Schitt's Creek I would make.
Let's figure out a way to end that sentence. Welcome to another episode of Let's Figure Out a Way to End That Sentence. Senator Joe Manchin appears on CNN to...
fuck.
A gay Jew.
He's gay Jew. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Finish this sentence. It's from Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. He was 6 feet tall, he was over 80 years old, and his sons were massive.
Gauges.
Leaves of grass, my ass.
Leaves of grass, my ass.
The only Simpsons quote I can remember.
Walt Whitman was good. He was gay. He sucked big dick. He sucked big Walt Whitman dick. Fuck Walt Whitman up the ass. Push Walt Whitman's P-spot. Grab his beard. He said, oh, that's what you say. That's your fucking Walt Whitman in the ass as you're going hard into Walt Whitman's P-spot. You're saying, leaves of grass, your ass.
So I'm a stand-up comedian. I do an impression of Walt Whitman getting fucked up the ass. It goes, oh.
Yeah, I do all the poets. I do all the great American poets.
Yeah, Allen Ginsberg. It's like,
there's Allen Ginsberg
aren't
getting
you
fucked
a
up the
little
ass.
young for me?
Oh, this is Allen Ginsberg, and I'm getting fucked up the ass. Hi, baby.
Yeah, that's him. You did it.
That's stupid. What are name some of the other great American poets? I can do impressions of them. No, it peaked with Allen. I'm not gonna beat Allen Ginsberg. I should stop right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I know any other. Oh, Robert Frost. There you go.
See, the thing about Robert Frost, asshole, is that there are two paths.
I won an academic award in 10th grade, and my the prize I got was a book of Robert Frost poetry.
Weak.
And let me tell you, I stopped trying after that. I was like, is this the shit I'm going to start winning if I do well in school?
Can you look up 9/11 poetry and
I could. I mean, your
what's the
keyboard's
first thing that
quieter
comes?
than mine.
I'll look up 9/11 poetry.
I'll
I'm
look
interested.
it up too. It's fine. Listeners, please wait while we look up 9/11 pottery.
We're looking up some 9/11 poetry.
Poetry
Poetry in response to 9/11, a resource guide.
I'm very sorry. Mine autocorrected to pottery. So here we go. University of Minnesota artist creates urn to mark 9/11 attacks. Artist Tom Lane etched the names of all 2,977 people who died in the 2001 terrorist attacks on this memorial urn.
That's not funny,
Yes,
but this article that
It looks like a penis.
It does look like a penis. From September 11th, 2015, from Heavy.com, remembering 9/11, top 10 poems in tribute to September 11th. Oh, this article is great. Oh my God. September 11th, 2001 is a day worth remembering. Thousands of Americans died in a terrorist attack on our nation, and it's a day to honor their lives. It's also a show today that we will never forget the horrific events that occurred on 9/11. Read on for quotes and poems to pay tribute to the day, as well as us affected by it. There you go. It's a bunch of poems. A Black
they're
September
all in
shadow
the
cloaks
Library
the
of
dawn.
Congress. The Library of Congress.
They
says
love these 9/11 poems.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I guess they took
this one's
pictures.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
Who did this poem? And to our soldiers now at war, God guide above, at sea, on shore. They are the best, I have no doubt. Our country's pride, complete, devout. The finest force you'll ever see. All freedom grown through liberty. One final thought comes clear to me for what must live in infamy. Absolutely will remember the 11th of September. Jesus Christ, that one's
one.
really jingoistic.
Here's
You got one?
Here's because I'm on. So Library of Congress has them all apparently.
Okay.
This one's by Brittany Woodward. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, for thee I sing. I'm sorry that this bad, bad thing happened to you. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. So that's a nice one. I'm sorry
That's
that this
one.
bad. I like that line. That's, because that's what happened.
Here is something by Tom Slay, New York American Spell 2001, one Omen. What was going on in the New York American? Black, red, green, helmeted neon night. The elevator door was closing behind us. We were the ones. Plunging, floor after floor after floor after Jesus Christ.
No, that's pick the funny ones. Come on.
No, I'm not picking the funny ones. I'm picking all the horrible ones. Saying something flashing from the teleprompter. 2, in front of St. Vincent's, a woman hugging another woman who was weeping blocked the sidewalk. Nobody moved for a moment. They were an island caught at the tide turning. Such misery in 2 human bodies. Then the wearing away of the crowd. Moving flowed over them, and they were pulled swiftly along down the sidewalk. Jesus Christ. Very heavy-handed poetry.
There we go.
But,
Here we go. I am a helpless citizen of one, driving home with a cup of gas, dollars short for nearly our drive home, state of emergency everywhere. Gas sucked dry in town. This is all just about his problems with gas. Running on fumes, I realize I'm a helpless citizen of one. Let's see, scrolling down. Just want back on the road. I head out. Oh, don't have any gas again. Okay, so this whole poem's just like how he doesn't have gas.
Yeah. Here's Susan Berkland's Jesus poem. If I'd been trapped in one of those towers and I had a cell phone, I'd have called my sister and brother and told them I'd love my life. Love them, always would, and to this is not the comedy. This is not the comedy fruit
Let's
basket
make it
I
funny.
expected
Let's
it to be.
make it funny.
Let's make it funny.
What if she
we'll
called
read
her
them like
brother?
Allen Ginsberg being fucked up the ass.
What if she
If
called
I'd
her...
been trapped in one of those towers and had a cell phone, I'd have called my sister and brother and told them that I'd love my life. Hi, love them, always would. No, it's no good. It's these poems are sad. They're not funny.
I kind of feel like maybe it was Jon Stewart that did 9/11.
Jon Stewart did 9/11 so that he could.
Yeah, it was.
You always come back to the Jews, don't you, Steven?
It was Jon Stewart and then that guy from SNL's dad.
It was Pete Davidson's dad.
Yeah.
He sacrificed himself. He was the guy behind 9/11, yeah. All these tepid 9/11 jokes that we're making. Just front to back. It's all tiresome.
Well, you know, there's that joke format, like my dad died on 9/11, like he was on the plane. I don't know, something like, you know, the Holocaust joke.
The classic joke, the classic Holocaust joke is, hey, don't make fun of me. My grandfather died in the Holocaust, fell out of a guard tower, implying that he was a Nazi.
Right. There's it's sad because there are people who probably had loved ones that died on 9/11 and they just can't really talk about it now because when you say like my dad died on 9/11, then they think he died in 9/11, and then if you start to say that if you start to explain it, then they think you're an asshole making an asshole joke.
No, that's a joke on Curb Your Enthusiasm where in Curb Your Enthusiasm he meets someone. Oh yeah, he died on 9/11. Oh, he died in the Twin Towers? He died... No, he died somewhere uptown. Hey, that's not a bad Larry David. I do things in a Larry David voice. I can't keep it up for
That's
it's
it.
Pretty good. Pretty.
He goes up a little more. You're almost there.
I'm almost there. It's hard to keep that up. It's kind of raspy.
Yeah.
What you've been watching a lot of Degrassi, right?
Mm-hmm. Every day.
That's a post 9/11 show. That's how it was for kids in 9/11, you know.
Yeah, that's you know, it's like kind of a comforting show because every time they do something bad, you know there's going to be consequences. Oh, you know. They never ever have a show where they get away with a social ill of any kind.
Well, yeah, this is Canada. You know, people do right by community here, you know. There's more accountability because we have more faith in our government.
Which I'm realizing is not true. I'm also seeing the Canadian election happen, like realizing that a multi-party system does not solve a democracy. So because, you know, I used to think like maybe what we should do in America is have like a couple extra parties, but it doesn't really fix anything.
No, it doesn't work unless there's some sort of mandate that they have to pass a certain amount of legislation, or they have to make good on a certain amount of promises that they make, or something like that. There's no accountability for citizens towards their parties, really. You know, if you make there should be some law that if you make a campaign promise, that you have to you have some sort of fiduciary duty to keep it, and you can be punished if you fail to keep a campaign promise. Because that's what, I think that's the backlash against Trudeau, is he's missed the promises and failed to deliver on several key ones, including the first past the post. Said he would reform voting so it's no longer first past the post, make it more egalitarian.
Why are you saying it that way?
First past the post, you know. Oh, where we're picking up the kids from? Oh, you know, line first past the post. Okay. Going down to the old, how do we vote in the elections? First
what's
past
the other
post.
model called? Where you then do you let the votes carry over to the next person you picked. What's that other system called? Ranked choice, right? Isn't it ranked choice?
I think ranked choice ballot is something that I've heard before. You would know better than me.
So New York put in ranked choice ballots.
You're right, for Eric Adams.
And then they ended up with like the same guy they probably would have got anyway.
Yeah, but the idea is that I guess the votes are more evenly distributed somehow, or it's more reflective of the population at large, or it is more Democrat. And in that situation, it wouldn't have worked, but ranked choice ballots would change the outcome of a number of elections, you know. I wonder, you know, if like the Democratic primary was a ranked choice ballot, I wonder how Bernie would have done. You know, I wonder if he had just come in third or second a lot.
Yeah.
But I forget how many people fucking hate Bernie. They just fucking hate his guts because they just see him as nothing more than
they're also
scolding.
They're anti-Semitic too. I mean, that does exist here.
They hate him because he's a gay Jew.
I mean, that exists. I know it's not popular among leftists.
Not
to
popular.
It's not a popular ill.
Because Israel are big bullies.
Yeah,
Israel are big bullies. So it's like and anti-Semitism is used as an Uncle Leo tactic to avoid talking about the crimes of Israel.
Yeah, but that's one tiny little
exists.
country. So come on.
Yeah. It's a tiny country, but it has a very outsized geopolitical impact because it is the true Western footprint in the Holy Land.
Yeah, that's where Jesus is from.
Yeah.
That's where Jesus is from.
Yeah, it's a very important. Yeah, that's it's like the North Pole. You know, it's like how Canada made the North Pole a sacred place.
Santa Claus is Canadian, right?
Yeah, that's what people don't want to admit. He was born in the Netherlands, but he naturalized to Canada, which is why he has a giving spirit, and he hates Indigenous people. Santa Claus just slaughtering Indigenous people all over the place. It's just real bad.
Wow. Yeah,
just Santa, in order to make us, yeah.
I can envision that comic. That would be a good comic, but I know you won't do it.
That's a little, I don't know if I could. You could have, let's pitch that to an Indigenous guy, an Indigenous comic artist.
Why don't we take out the racial element and just have like Santa slaughtering reindeer? That's funny.
Everybody, is it all the Santa jokes? Let's pitch an original fucking Santa
all right,
joke.
I got one. What if Santa was like a dude who did bad stuff?
Oh no! Like a bad Santa?
Yeah, but, you know, maybe we would call it evil Santa.
Malignant Santa.
Yeah.
Narcissist Santa.
Yeah. How about contagious Santa?
Contagious Santa, he's just spreading COVID all over the place.
Yeah, that's why COVID spikes in the winter, by the way. Yeah, Santa got COVID.
Comes down and he farts in your house. This COVID is spread through farts. What people don't know is COVID is spread through farts.
Yeah, they're just finding it out. One thing that happened was a vaccine mandate.
Oh, yeah, vaccine mandates.
Vaccine mandate for if you work. in a company that has
is-
more than 100 people, you got to get a vaccine in your mandate.
Yeah, I mean that I guess that sort of makes sense, but I am probably, I don't know anything about this issue, but on my gut, I'm pro-vaccine mandate.
Yeah, I'm probably okay with it. I don't know. It's weird. I looked up the history of forcible, or not forcible, but like, vaccine mandates. They do go way back. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have your fucking rubella shot before you go to preschool.
And like the funny thing about like them being like, I'm a veteran, I would never obey what my government tells me to do. That's funny.
Those guys are great.
It's funny because like the first vaccine mandate was George Washington, like making his army vaccinated. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's funny is they're like, yeah, but like this is an untested vaccine. And then I kind of want to be like, do you know what the smallpox vaccine involved in 1775? Do you know what that?
What did the smallpox vaccine?
It involved getting a guy with smallpox, busting up some of his pussy smallpox pustules, putting that on a stick, cutting yourself open, and then rubbing the stick with his pus on it into your wound, and then hoping you get a light case of smallpox.
Hey, we've been doing it forever.
So surprisingly, that was approved by the FDA.
Fauci, you've done it again. You've muddled it again.
Yeah. I find stories of like active duty soldiers quitting the army to be very entertaining.
Is that happening a lot where the soldiers have the vaccine mandate and all the QAnon soldiers are like, no way, man.
I don't know.
No way, man. I joined the army because of Chris Kyle.
I joined the army for all the gay sex.
I joined the army for all the gay Jewish sex. I want to fuck some gay Jews. I bet they do. I bet the IDF and American like homoerotic army jarhead team ups are hot. I bet like Marines fucking IDF guys.
There's a comic idea for you, lad.
Oh, Gilad. Gilad.
Do a comic where you call the United States and the Israeli army gay and have them engaging in graphic sex.
There you go. Yeah, it turns out you guys are fucking gay.
Yeah, it's like
Take
gay
that.
Jew. 9/12.
You gay Jews. Yeah, 9/12. Yeah. There you go. I think people say, I think that is the spirit of 9/12 really, is be a gay Jew. Think as a gay Jew would. If I were a gay Jew, what would I be doing? Probably the same thing. They're
you try to like put your own fist up your butt, probably.
That's probably what you try and do. You probably try and put a shofar up your butt,
you
and it goes shofar up your butt. You can't get it out yet.
You can't because your ass is too tight.
You didn't have a bass on the shofar. Oh no, Avi! Why didn't you put a bass on the shofar before you stuck it up your asshole? And the unique twisting of the shofar has made it undislodgeable from your areas.
I gotta go to a doctor, and the doctor's also Jewish and is having the same problem. And he's like, I wish I could help you, but I have terrible news. The same thing happened to me.
You just have shofars up your butts.
Yeah.
When Jay-Z in his song talked about how the Jews made all their money, that's it. Got to get a corkscrew horn in your ass.
That's pretty extreme. Did Drake ever like say anything remotely that controversial?
as being the biggest Jewish rapper of all time.
Is he part Jewish?
He is Jewish. He's absolutely Jewish.
Okay.
He's absolutely, Drake
why is
absolutely
everyone on Degrassi
guy.
Jewish? Please tell me, because that's the fourth
that's who's
person.
in the theater. That's who's in the theater. They're coached by the horrible stage moms. Wow. You want to be in the pictures, Shlomo? You want to be in fucking Degrassi? You want to play a kid that gets AIDS from a piece of glass with AIDS on it? Well, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mother. Oh,
That's
God,
the episode
the auditions, Mother.
where like they break a bottle that it contains AIDS in it, and it's labeled with AIDS, and yet he still cuts himself with it anyway.
Yeah, that's a full Degrassi episode. Then that's actually 7 Degrassi episodes. Seven kids cut themselves on the AIDS bottle. Oh, that's so fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, it's the show. The Degrassi I started watching because Nick Mullen recommended it as an activity to do while taking large amounts of sedatives and painkillers.
Yeah,
which I don't do. I just like to pretend that I'm on sedatives and painkillers. It's kind of like my Zen
sense memory.
Yeah, my Zen technique. Mm-hmm. So it triggers in me like the sense of being really zonked.
Yeah, just because it's so there's such a mundanity and a predictability about the events in Degrassi, about how these just incredibly traumatic events for these children just resolve within like a few episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, the funniest one was when the character Emma finds out her real dad is actually J-Rock with brain damage.
Oh no!
Her
dad is I Am Sam? She has an I Am Sam?
No, well, did I Am Sam get brain damage from...
No, I Am Sam was mentally handicapped.
So to make it, I guess, slightly more acceptable, her father sustained brain damage from jumping off a bridge and is played by Jonathan Torrens, who plays J-Rock in Trailer Park Boys. So it's J-Rock with brain damage, like crocheting, being like, "Why don't you visit me?" And
he's a great actor.
He's never seen or heard of again after that episode.
Well, J-Rock became a hot commodity. He's Canada's Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah. He is everywhere. I mean, I bet Jonathan Torrens is all over your media still.
Not really. He should be. We should have more Jonathan Torrens. But yeah, I bet he does. He does bumpers for the Much Music Video Awards. We for the Much Music Video Awards, we have the Trailer Park Boys for the 7th year in a row. It's the Trailer Park Boys.
You guys are so funny up there. All 5 of you.
Yeah, all 5 of us. They're just the leaders of the political parties. It's just, those are the 5 guys in Canada.
Yeah, that's where 5 Guys comes from, the restaurant.
Exactly.
Because it was started in Canada, where that's how many guys there are.
But the 5 major parties. It's so funny which are the 5 major parties in Canada. Liberal, Conservative, NDP, Green, and the Bloc Québécois!
Yeah. It's anime style.
Yeah, it's great. We have, it's very much, you ever watch G Gundam?
I know about it, but I didn't watch it.
A bunch of country stereotypes fight each other, and like the Mexican Gundam has like a sombrero and
that's always
cactuses.
That's always lame. Come on. Never do that. Never make the stereotypes. Never do the stereotypes. Never do stereotyping.
It's fine when Japan does it. It's when they can do it. It's fine when Jinx the Pokemon is fine.
And then on 9, and then also
Mr. Popo is fine.
On 9/12 you can do a little bit of stereotyping, but only for gay Jewish people.
You can do it for Arabs.
No, that's bad. You can't do that. They didn't.
Yeah, you should assault a Sikh guy on 9/12. That's how you behave.
Oh boy,
on 9/12. Don't assault Sikh guy, but that did happen a lot. A lot of Sikh people were assaulted
because Americans are stupid.
Americans are like, oh, it's a turban. We get him. It's just the guys that look identical to Mark Wahlberg but fat. Like, hey, get him.
Like this, the Sikhs, they fight Muslims.
They're no friend to the Muslims.
No, they do fucked up stuff to them when in their majority countries. I'm pretty sure they're on our side. They're not. That's right. That's what I'm trying to say here.
You really got into the 9/12 mentality.
George Bush comes out and it's like the Sikhs are on our side.
Whoa. Yeah,
that's
clash of civilizations. But see how ingrained it is? See how ingrained it is that our West Christendom is meant to destroy the upheavals from the Andalusian Moors? We need to stop the Moors. It's that Ben Shapiro with his whole Judeo-Christian bullshit that's what he's on about.
It used to
he's
be
got
the
official
Mongols.
T-shirts.
It used to be like this.
What if, hypothetically, we stopped the Moors? Sorry.
What if it was actually a Mongol horde that was coming? And instead of Islam, the real threat was the Mongol horde.
But yeah, as historians would point out, Mongol horde among empires, not the worst you could have been taken over by. Because generally, all they would ask you to do is pledge allegiance, and then they'd let you keep your culture and shit. They wouldn't try and enforce Mongol culture on you.
I don't know enough. I've heard that that they were kind of decentralized, but the Romans were fairly decentralized too. I mean,
yeah, but yeah, in terms of like but at least different, if not better, different than American style empire, which is all about exporting democracy and attempting to change countries into Americas.
Well, now we just do it with Twitter, Facebook, and all the rest.
I always think, I wonder like what South Korea would look like without the American presence, because I think South Korea more than any Asian country has that highly. I guess Hong Kong too has that American crossover. No, that's more British. And South Korea is super Americanized, but I guess Japan is too. You know, I'm talking out my ass.
Yeah, that's all we have time for. Also, so we're gonna leave it at South Korea. What would it have been like if America had never existed? We'll pick it up right here on the next show.
Exactly. We'll get 7 Korean guests.
Get an answer to this burning question. Maybe we'll do a K-pop episode.
I'd like to listen to some K-pop.
All right. Well.
All right.
Have a happy 9/12. This is House of Decline signing out.
Bye.